All right, let's just jump right into it. We are about to go on a journey to the absolute edge of, well, everything. And I'm telling you right now, by the end of this, your brain is going to feel very, very small. Let's do this.
No, I'm serious. You think your day-to-day problems, your worries, your entire existence has any real significance in the grand scheme of things? Well, let's put that to the test.
So, here we are. This is our starting line. Earth. Every single person you've ever known, every story ever told, every king, every peasant, every war, every piece of art, it all happened right here. On this little speck of dust, just kind of floating in a cosmic ocean. Feels pretty big to us, right? Well, you're about to see just how wrong we are.
Okay, let's just try to get around our own backyard for a minute. If you wanted to go to the moon, our closest celestial buddy, forget a rocket. Let's say you could just drive a car straight up. At 100 kilometers an hour, it would take you 160 days, non-stop driving. And the sun, you know, the massive star that gives us all life, hop on a commercial jet, and you'll get there in about 19 years. 19! Just to reach the center of our own solar system. And trust me, this is the smallest scale we're going to talk about today. It's about to get way, way crazier. You know, that mind-boggling 19-year jet ride is so massive that scientists needed a whole new ruler just to deal with it. They call it the astronomical unit, or AU for short. 1 AU is about 150 million kilometers. It's our cosmic yardstick for now. Perfect for measuring the distance to, say, Mars or Jupiter. But I promise you, this yardstick is about to become completely, utterly useless.
All right, Section 1, humanity's farthest reach. So let's push it. How far have we as a species actually gone? Let's take a look at the absolute farthest point humanity has ever reached, the very edge of our influence.
I want you to meet our most distant ambassador, Voyager 1. This thing launched way back in 1977. It's been flying for over 4 decades, and right now, it's over 22 billion kilometers away from us. Just a silent wanderer in the deep dark. And back in 1990, it did something absolutely incredible. At the request of the legendary Carl Sagan, NASA turned its camera around from 6 billion kilometers away and just snapped a picture. And this is what it saw, a pale blue dot. That's it. That's us. A single pixel hanging in a sunbeam. Sagan said it best. On that tiny dot is everyone you love, everyone you know. Our entire messy, beautiful history is contained on a single mote of dust. It's a really humbling perspective, isn't it? And now we're going even further. We are leaving the solar system behind entirely. We're crossing that invisible line where our sun is no longer the boss, and we're entering the vast, kind of terrifying emptiness between the stars. So, remember our trusty yardstick, the AU? Well, out here, using it is like trying to measure the distance from New York to Tokyo with a 12-inch ruler. It's just pointless. The numbers get so big they become meaningless. So we need a new tool. We need to upgrade to the light year. Now get this straight, a light year isn't a measure of time, it's a measure of distance. It's the insane distance that a beam of light, the fastest thing in the entire universe, travels in one single year. And that distance is 9.5 trillion kilometers. That number is so huge, our brains can't even really process it. And this just brilliantly illustrates why we need a new ruler. Our closest stellar neighbor, the Alpha Centauri system, is about 4.4 light years away. So what does that mean in human terms? Well, if we pointed Voyager 1, our fastest and farthest probe, right at it, it would take over 70,000 years to get there. Just think about that. That is the unimaginable void that separates even the closest of stars. Okay, so we've just crossed that mind-bending gap between stars. Now it's time to zoom out again and see the massive structure that all these stars call home. Welcome to the galactic scale. You thought that 70,000-year trip was a big deal? I am telling you right now that distance is a tiny, insignificant crack in the cosmic sidewalk compared to what's coming next. It is literally nothing. This is our home, a sprawling spiral city of stars, gas, and dust. Everything we've talked about so far, Earth, the Sun, Voyager, Alpha Centauri, it all exists right here inside this one magnificent structure. But it's not just stars. This galaxy is filled with these spectacular stellar nurseries, these glowing nebulae, like the pillars of creation, where new suns are literally being born from clouds of dust. And right at the heart of it all, a monster, a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A star, 4 million times the mass of our sun.
So how big is this place? Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is 100,000 light-years across. 100,000! Light itself takes 100,000 years to get from one side to the other, and it holds maybe 400 billion stars. And as insane as that sounds, our next-door neighbor, the Andromeda galaxy, is twice as wide and holds 1 trillion stars. And even that gets completely dwarfed by cosmic behemoths like IC 1101, a galaxy so massive it could swallow thousands of Milky Ways without even burping. So where do we fit into all this? Check this out. Since we started broadcasting radio signals about a century ago, they've been spreading out at the speed of light. This has created what we call a human radio bubble that's about 200 light-years across. So beyond that bubble, which is over 99.9% of our own galaxy, nobody even knows we're here. We don't exist. Our entire history is just a whisper that hasn't even made it across the street yet.
You're probably thinking it can't get any bigger, right? I mean, 100,000 light-years, that has to be the end of it. Wrong. Oh, so wrong. Now we're going to zoom out so far that our entire galaxy, with its hundreds of billions of stars, becomes just a single, tiny point of light. So here's the thing. Galaxies aren't just scattered randomly across space. They're clumped together in these incredible structures. Our Milky Way is part of the local group with about 50 other galaxies. That group is just one small piece of the giant Virgo supercluster, and all of that is just one arm of the Laniakea supercluster, a structure that's home to 100,000 galaxies. And some of these galaxies harbor the most terrifying objects in the universe, black holes like TON 618, which is 66 billion times the mass of our Sun. It's so powerful, it outshines its entire host galaxy. Now let's really put this into perspective. Our local group, which felt so huge just a second ago, is about 10 million light-years across. But that's nothing. The Virgo supercluster clocks in at a mind-numbing 110 million light-years. And then there's our true cosmic home, Laniakea, a sprawling celestial continent that stretches for an almost incomprehensible 520 million light-years. We are a single grain of sand on one beach, on one continent, on a planet that is just full of continents.
And here we are, the final step. We are going to zoom all the way out to the very edge of reality itself, the boundary of everything humanity can and ever will be able to see. This is it, the final frontier.
This is the biggest number we've got. The diameter of the observable universe is 93 billion light-years. Now, you might be asking yourself, wait, if the universe is 13.8 billion years old, how can it be 93 billion light-years across? Great question. The answer is that space itself has been expanding ever since the Big Bang, carrying all the galaxies along with it, kind of like raisins in a rising loaf of bread. So while the light from the farthest galaxies has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years, the space it was traveling through has been stretching out the whole time.
And this is where it gets truly wild. The universe is still expanding, and some of the most distant parts are actually moving away from us faster than the speed of light. Now think about what that means. The light from those galaxies will never, ever reach us. They are beyond our grasp forever. So the true size of the entire universe, beyond what we can see, we have no clue. It could literally be infinite. Our 93 billion light-year bubble might just be an infinitesimal part of the whole shebang.
It's the ultimate question, isn't it? What lies out there in the darkness, beyond the light that we can see? More galaxies? Other universes? Or just nothing? We may never know. And that is an awe-inspiring mystery that really puts everything back on that tiny blue dot into perspective. If you want to keep your brain exploding with space facts, smash that subscribe button for the Webb Watch.